Okay, so we should be live now, as usual. Just testing this. Yes, my OBS is working perfectly here. This is all good. So I suppose let's get started. So, to start off with, I would say that I have done a few things since last stream. I think it was on Sunday I last streamed something about this. Let's launch this so I can show you what I've changed. So first of all, taking a note of the profile indicator, we now have sports, comfort, winter, agility and manual. If I move the selector lever down to start off in manual, start that, you'll now notice it displays the gear number like manual normally does in these older cars. And if I accelerate, you can see if I hit 4000 RPM, you can suddenly see an upshift indicator appear on there, this little like up arrow, and then it automatically shifts into second when I hit red line. So I'll do that again. But I can use P and O keys to basically shift up or shift down, and it won't let me shift down, so I'm spamming O right now and it won't let me shift down, because gearbox logic states that if I was to shift down now, I'd go past the red line zone of the engine and potentially cause some damage, which isn't the best of things. But then I can shift up, shift down again. And then also, as the RPMs drop, you can then see a down arrow appearing, prompting me in manual mode to shift down. So I shall do that. There we go, and it goes away, and it doesn't appear in 1. So that's essentially all that has changed since last time I streamed. I have added these extra few cool bits in. Also with winter mode, I don't quite know what I'm going to do differently to comfort mode, because in the 203 series, comfort also starts you in second gear, but also apparently winter does as well. I don't quite know the difference between winter and manual, and also as to why winter is disabled on the facelift 203s and is replaced by comfort mode, and on the older 203s you can't get comfort mode, but you can get winter mode. So I plan to do something in the neighbourhood, so maybe comfort starts you in first gear, but it's just smoother, and winter is just pure second gear, trying giving you as much traction as possible, at, you know, in assuming that it's icy outside. And agility is just, you know, max performance, so upshift's pretty high up. Currently not taking into account anything like pedal percentage or engine load, because I'm not currently reading those from the car, I'm just purely basing it off engine RPM. So let's start modifying some things, because what I want to do is I want to begin building a common firmware interface for the gearshift, because today I ordered my first demo PCB for this project, and that should come, I don't know when, maybe next week, because JLPC PCB says it could take up to a week for it to arrive. But essentially that PCB is going to be used to drive or test drive this it's a dead solenoid. Like, it still clicks, but it doesn't work that well. So when I did my valve body back in March, wait, Alex says, I think WC is dependent on the market. As far as I know, all the 211Ws on US cars. In Europe it's all C. That's interesting. No, on saying that, I have seen some old 203s here in the UK with winter mode on them. Anyway, as I was saying, so this is the torque converter solenoid from my transmission. It is dead, but it still actuates. It's just, I don't know if there might be something blocking it, because I noticed that my torque converter would like shudder with this old solenoid in, but it still actuates. I can still hear it clicking when I apply power to it. And I want to begin test driving the solenoid drive logic with my actual PCB, which should arrive in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. And yeah, we can actually try driving that and making sure that the PCB can hold 2 amps. So these apparently draw 2 amps. I have done some measurements and they seem to be around 2 amps, so I've put a fuse. I'll see if I can actually bring up the diagram for this at some point later in the stream. Anyway, how many views do we have currently? We have 5. Not bad, not bad. It's better than we did last week. So let me go ahead and open up a new folder on here, and we'll call this our common firmware for the gearbox. So let me. By the way, also, I thought I should mention, I'm using a different software other than Spotify for music this time round, after a whole debacle last week, when I did a stream, and some Puerto Rican telecoms company claimed my stream as being there, so it blocked it in Mexico, Puerto Rico, and the United States. I had to delete half an hour of my stream at random places within the stream because it thought it was their content. Which, bearing in mind, this same company, the video it was claiming was a stream which they did an hour before mine. So I have no clue how Content ID thought that was I was using their stream. But YouTube is YouTube, and YouTube will always be crap. Sorry, YouTube. Anyway, so here we are in this. I'm thinking of creating a new folder. What do we call this? Because this is going to be common code between the real gearbox and the simulated gearbox. I might just call you common. I'll just call you common. And then what we can actually do is we can drag the virtual interface to that directly. Open containing folder. So I will cut you from there and paste you into here. nagiface.h. Okay, so now I have to go to CMake list and tell it to add. Include directories, // so it'd be // common. Cannot find source file ECUs gears. Yes, that would be because... One second, we're trying to find this. Why can't you find this? There you go, there it is. Delete you. And that then means that on here I have to change this to #include. Where is it? Where's my virtual? Here you go, I have to change that to this type of include. And I believe this should still run. Yes, it still runs, great. That's good. Open with Visual Studio Code, so I'll edit this in VS Code. This particular part of it. Create new file. What do we call them? Hey John. Abstract profile.h. So I'm thinking each profile should have its own So I'm thinking each individual profile should have its own class associated with it, which basically deals with monitoring, deciding when it's going to update, and when it's going to want to change gears or not. So, where did I declare this? Oh yeah, there you go. So this would be class profile. Yeah, so if not defined, nag profile h. Okay, I'm also going to need to include the enums thing that I had for the gearbox so that we could set the drive profile. I'm just thinking here, I need to include // common, no, it's can frames, gear shift, enums.h, that's what I need, and I need protected. Oh, hang on a sec. Why aren't you finding the classes from here that I had? Yeah, they're all here. So I need protected. expected a declaration. Is this just Visual Studio being stupid? Oh. That might be why. There we go, yes, there we go, I found it now. So this we need void get current. No, this should return driving program. Driving program star get current profile. Actually, then we can delete this because that just returned based on a load of current parameters, and we need a void update. And I'll put a comment here saying call this every 10 milliseconds. So this will be the main driver logic, so essentially the profile will update every 10 milliseconds to decide what the gearbox should do, so that's about 100 updates per second, which I think should be sufficient. Oh yes, and then we need to also call in the interface with this, so from here would you include nagiface.h, and we just say void update, and we give it an interface to talk to the transmission with. So we say, oop, nag iface, iface. Hi, I bought WC are basically the same thing. MB just changed at some point, naming maybe because C mode is has a more implicit meaning, so it could be useful in winter. See, that's a good point, but the thing is that instrument classes which are from when they had winter mode also could support comfort, if that makes sense. It seems to be something within the transmission module which you can tell to change winter to comfort and comfort to winter. That's what I think, because I know the instrument cluster supports all the modes, or supports displaying them. It's current status bit, drive profile indicator. And then let's also do void. By the way, how's the text? Can you guys see the text? I can zoom in if you want. Visual Studio is much nicer from when it comes to zooming in text. Also, no, because the interface will display what the current gear is. That's not the profile's job. Yeah. I actually think this is all we need for a profile, because all the other methods would be protected. It's okay as now. Good point. What if these ICs were developed in the moment migration from W to C mode, so they need to support both? See, I don't know, but let me just go open up my CAN data again so I can show you what I mean by that. Code mbux. 23c.text fpc. Here we go. So this is what the combi displays. Here we go. Look, so we have, zoom in a bit more on this. So the status indication marks are agility, comfort, F for failure, which only the CVT transmission uses, which I find really frustrating because I'll tell you a bit of a story. So the 203 that I currently have, my dad used to own, and he was going to get rid of it before I took it on and said I'll, you know, modernize it and turn it into my own car. But basically, we were driving in London, and it was like 6 in the evening. We went to the car, started it off, tried pulling onto the main road, and the car decides it's going to stay in first gear. No status indication whatsoever to say something is wrong. No check engine light, no warning on the instrument cluster. And, you know, the car just refuses to go out of first gear. So we ended up having the code towed back, and they said it was a bad conductor plate on the transmission, which is a common failure of the series. But I don't know why it doesn't use this bit to tell you that there's something wrong with the gearbox. It just displayed comfort, and, you know, it just wouldn't change out of gear. And the same thing happened to me when I serviced my transmission and forgot to fill up with ATF. It wouldn't change gear, but there was no indication that anything was wrong. Anyway, continuing. You then have manual mode, sports mode, and winter mode, and then underscore, which is I don't know when underscore is triggered, but I think that's when it's not in any comfort profile. It will display an underscore, and then you have these extra bits which are used for instance, you can have it in profile manual and say message gear insert, or basically message, it will display a message on the top screen here saying insert into neutral. The same question is why we don't put well, the thing is they have an ATF temp sensor in a transmission, but that's about it. It seems, by the way, that Diagnostic Assist service, which is Daimler's diagnostic suite, seems to display the gearbox oil pressure, but I think it's using a map to calculate that, because there's no way, unless it's also reading the current draw of the solenoids to work out how much resistance is working against them. I doubt that. That seems overcomplicating things, but I know within that UI where you can oh wait, you meant engine oil pressure sensor. Well, also gearbox oil pressure as well is also a fairly good thing, but yeah, engine oil pressure sensor they don't have. But I'll tell you this: they do have an oil temperature sensor and an oil quantity sensor. And you can query it over CAN bus to say how much oil is currently in the pan and also what's the temperature of the oil. I think that's a fair enough indication to say roughly how your oil system is doing. Like, if your oil starts to heat up really quickly, there's something desperately wrong. But I tend to notice that it stays in check with the coolant temperature, so they tend to hover around the same. Again, I don't know if the petrol engines are any different. But anyway, so continuing, so then you also have these other profile markings, so like for instance gearbox visit workshop. See, this would have been so useful for an end user to see this on their display to say, hey, you should go visit the workshop because your gearbox is not working. But no, it doesn't do that. Actually, I can go trigger that right now to show you. So if we go here and I say when we're in sports, we say FPC, I believe was it. Here you go. So in driving mode sport, we're gonna say, if we're in sport, rather than saying we're in sport, we're gonna say SMGW, S_MGW. Okay, now I'm gonna switch to this screen here with cam only, and now look what happens when I start the simulation. Well, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? One sec, I might be setting the wrong variable here. Yes, I might be setting. Maybe it's because it doesn't think it's in. Okay, if I do the other thing here, which is 115 S message insert to N, which is SMGN. Just want to double check because I know that this would do something. Here you go. There you go. Select to lever engage neutral, and we're in sport. Okay, so maybe the gearbox. I know MFC works. If I tell it to go to profile. Here we go. So 134 is error marking F message gearbox visit workshop. So if we say FMGW, and now launch it, we now have an F. But that's interesting. No visit workshop, or maybe it will happen if I just have to continue. There you go. Transmission consult workshop, and we're in F. So it just seems to be that the gearbox visit workshop is not a high priority because it actually dismisses that message. That's really interesting that these messages seem to have a priority. Okay, there's another one where it should beep, I believe. Where it should basically scream at you telling you to do something. Here we go. Message gear actuate parking brake with warning tone. So CMGFB_WT. So if I just do WT, let's do the one for S. So this is basically S, engage parking brake. So let's do that. There we go, look at that. And you can hear the beeping. See, there is so much these instrument clusters supports which like Mercedes doesn't even tap into, which is so funny. And also, another thing is the thing to tell you to shift into N is so useful if you accidentally leave your what do you call it, gear selector. in drive and try starting the engine, because you'll notice if you go and do that, so turn your engine on, put it in drive, turn the engine off, and then try starting the engine again, nothing will happen. It won't even try starting, it just refuses, and there's no message on the display to tell you to do something. Whereas this is very useful because it says, hey, you haven't yet put the selector lever in a valid position. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked by this. We should probably go back to our Cody thing over here. I should make these public. So this is our public API. Yeah, but I agree and use those messages. Yeah, it's just stupid that they don't use them, in my opinion. Like, there's so many other warning messages that you can get on this instrument cluster, which like Mercedes never taps into. A lot of this stuff depends on coding settings of ICs. Many messages and errors depend on the market. Yes, that's true, Alex. But the main thing I found is that the CVT transmission, because I've got one friend with a CVT and his one broke. He's got a really old B class. No, sorry, A class. The CVT transmission in that broke. And it says gearbox visit workshop, but I just don't know why something that all the clusters support, they don't. But it seems to be like a limitation of this thing here. It's almost like this thing doesn't know how to do it. So, you know, you never know. Oh, I also need to do speed step. I'm thinking, do we... yeah, so void get display gear, and that should return a gear. No, it should return a... There's 1 megabyte. Well, it has 1 megabyte of flash memory. There should be enough for all these messages. No, the thing is, these messages aren't even on here. The instrument cluster displays it. It just has to have 1 byte to tell it what to display on the instrument cluster. That's it. So it's even worse than that. It's almost like the functionality for that just isn't baked into these older gearbox controllers. Returns speed step, I should call that. Ah, that's interesting, Alex. So FSC, here we go, is our speed step variable, so we need to return that. Now, this is interesting. The reason why we have speed step and not requesting EWM is because this little guy down here, the PRND indication, uses speed step to show what gear you're in. It's a strange system and I don't understand why it does that. But so you also have error marking F, which can appear in drive. And also A. Alex, question to you directly. Do you know what A would mean in the context of PRND? Because it replaces the D marking. So for instance here, that would say an A. And then you could also have A here for agility. I know what that is. I'm just checking to see if we need anything. So let's begin by implementing so let me create a it is like SWC. But no, but this is not agility. This is not A as in agility. This is A as in it replaces drive. So rather than it saying you're in drive, it will say you're in A. Sports. You mean A as in it could display? Yes, I mean the A which displays in the position. Wait, I'll actually show you that. Okay, let's settle some confusion here and say where's speed step. So gear shift D, I'll just do brake, and gs418.set, which I believe was that profile name. No, wait, that's not even from here. And then what do you take? You take a... So I believe if I set this to 70, it should just display A. I think. We're also going to... Oh, it's not going into drive apparently. Very nice. Could it be used for semi-automatic boxes which were used on the NBA classes? I don't know. Oh yeah, I'm setting the wrong thing here. Stupid me. So we set this to 70. And we set that to say the gear position selector lever is in drive. So if we go... Oh, okay, I've broken this, but have a look here. You can now see it says F on the gear selector position indicator. I'm going to quickly change that to what should be... Oh yeah, I set it to the wrong one. So if I do SS65... I think it's one of their not finished driving programs. Jesus Christ, this thing's got so much unfinished crap on it. Here you go, there you go, look, A. I'll zoom in on that. There you go. And then I can also go... Oh, look at that. AA. Hell yeah. Also, being really nitpicky here, they use two different fonts. That's really irritating. Don't know if you can see that. Actually, let's see if I can bring the camera up close. 1 second. Zoom in on that. Here, can you see they use two different fonts for the two A's? The A's look ever so like the A for PRNA is slightly wider than the font used in the agility indication. That's just mildly irritating, in my opinion. God damn it, Mercedes! Why can't you ever be like normal and use, you know, the same font on your own? Oh, that's frustrating. Oh, we have 8 viewers now. Hell yeah. I wonder, can we actually can we get past 10 viewers tonight? Like 10 concurrent viewers? I'd be curious. Right, back to what we were doing. So, new file. Sports. So that's... Where's rename? Hello there. So, class sport profile inherits public abstract nag profile. Then we also have class... Oh, I should probably set these to 0 because these are going to be virtual methods. Reminds me of Alex says, remind me to show you after how command displays all those driving programs on 205. Yes, please do show me, Alex. I'd love to see that. So I can delete these comments here. And oh yeah, I keep forgetting in C++ I need to put the stupid semicolon at the end of the class definition. So we have sports, comfort, winter, agility, Reese says a small variation of this instrument class is used on W169 A class and W245 B class. On those models it displays these error messages for the transmission, like F transmission. Yes, because they have the CVT transmission. As far as I'm aware, they don't ship with the 722.6 gearbox like the C class does. I mean, I might be wrong, but as far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen one with a 722.6 since that's made for a rear-wheel drive car. You can't fit a 722.6 in a front-wheel drive car. Electrically, they're 100% the same. Yes, in fact, most of my projects I'm doing for my W203, you could happily slap in one of those cars, and it would work fine. So this is class manual. So we should have sports, comfort, winter, agility, manual, and I'm also going to put class fail profile, so that would be F. There we go. Sadness gearbox is dead. If this happens, it's bad. Oh heck, we hit 10 concurrent viewers. Hell yeah. Okay, new file. Sports.cpp. Include. No, not that. We want to include profiles.h. That one. So, one thing I hate about VS Code is why can't I... Is there an extension for me to be able to auto-implement all members of a class? Let's see. Is there a way for me to be able to do this? Okay, so if I do Control Plus on this, what happens? No code actions available, that's sad. Okay, so I believe there was a member for do this. C++ member implement. Is this auto-complete? Write the implementation. Yes, this is what I want. Okay, thanks, we'll install that. Okay, so if I go here and I go Control-Shift-P, auto. Aha! There we go. Right implementation file. No, that did not do anything that I wanted it to. Close. Okay. Oh no, it did. It did, but it's like, where's the? There it is. But it's put it in like completely. That's hilarious. It's put it in the wrong thing. It's put it in the wrong file. Go away. Don't save. And I shall do this manually. So let's start with just the sports profile. I say. So we shall do that. Go to sports.cpp. It's sport profile, not sports profile. Ashcon. Alright, continuing. Sorry, I was just checking something. So, get current profile should, we shall return driving program. So this is S. So we shall return that in this mode. Why don't you like that? Expression must be L value or a function designate. Oh, fine. Is that what you... No? Return value... Okay. Return value does not... So, why don't you like that when I put an and% sign here? Actually, for now, I'm just going to uncomment. I'm going to comment all of the other profiles here so we don't get a compiler error saying that something is terribly wrong because these are all these aren't implemented. We'll just focus on sports profile for now. Expression must be L value or a function designator. Am I doing something wrong here? It's been a while since we've done C++ properly, so don't know if this is... Okay, I'm just going to change this to just return the real... Just don't return a pointer. Yeah, that's a better idea. That's what I was about to do. There we go. Yeah, look at that. It worked. Okay, so get display gear should return. So I'm going to put in here private request gear current gear. And by default you will always be so by default you'll be SF passive, which is I think there was one for saying unknown. Yeah, so by default you'll be SS blank because the car hasn't even started yet when the firmware turns on. So match or no switch iFace get N2 RPM. Ah, yes, wait a minute. We should actually start moving some more code into our common firmware base. So I'm going to begin by moving all of our definitions of our transmission type into here, because you are no longer needed. And you shall go into here. Because I think it's important for the firmware to also know what the gearbox ratio is. Definitely. Yeah, it would. Because then it can calculate what gear it's currently in. Oh, that's also something I need to do, is I need to do void get gearbox type. And this should just simply return one bit, which indicates what type of nag is being sensed. So if we have a look here, oh no, not here, one sec. Enums.h, there is, here we go, gear variant. So there's, I don't quite know which one I need. So there's nag large gear, nag small gear, nag 2 large gear, nag 2 small gear. I'm gonna assume it's nag 2 because it's nag52 control is what I'm using. And I'm gonna say large gear is a W580 I believe, and small gear is W530, so we need to return that. Actually, this can be a constant value, which is done at compiler time, I think. So we can do public gear variant gearbox type equals you need to include the enums directory because I need you. Gear variant nag2, I believe that's the correct one. Yeah, K-line is that one. So we're going to put if defined W, what was it? W530. Then we say that. Else if, is there such thing as else if? Yeah, else if that. Then we set the gearbox variant to be the smaller one to tell the rest of the car who's what type of gearbox we're using. Why is it complaining? Oh, of course, because that is needed. You need nag. No, it's fine. It was just this. I just needed an end diff here, so this can be done at compiler time. So now if we go back to my code here, where is it? C line. Need to bring this up here. We now need to set. Okay, I'm going to zoom out a bit. New folder. No. New file. Gearbox brain.h. Void loop. So this is going to be called by either the firmware or the gearbox itself. And we're going to need the 3 can frames. Oh, we're going to need all the can frames, come to think about it. Because this should import all of them. One sec. Into a space in memory. So they can basically constantly read and write. Thank you. Void. So I'm just thinking how to do this, that's all. I'm currently having a bit of a brain freeze. Okay, let's import all the can frames. Can frames. Gear shift. 418.h include can frames, gear shift, GS218H include can frames, gear shift, GS338.h. So these are the 3 CAN frames essentially which we have to send at all time to the rest of the car, or else bad things will happen essentially, because the other nodes on the CAN bus basically think the gearbox isn't working anymore. So I'm going to put Aaron one of these every 25 milliseconds. So void startup. Are you sure about NAG2? It might be an... Oh yeah, good point. You might actually be correct. Thank you for catching that. I'll change it to NAG just in case. But you might be onto something there. I'll need to check what values my car displays. So it's just NAG small, NAG large. And then I'm going to need a way to retrieve all of the CAN frame data, or to... No, I'm trying to think here. No, EGS will only ever set the CAN frame data from any of the profiles. You have 5 gears, then they're just NAG. Just check that. Thank you for checking that. So that's interesting to note. NAG2 is our what do you call it? NAG2 is the 7-speed. So on firmware side, this should initialize CAN bus and all the other necessary crap in the CAN frames itself. And new file. So we should actually start with the initialization stuff here. Include gearbox brain.h. And then we're going to need here a private. And we also want to include nag iFace, and we want to include nag profiles.h. If not defined, gearbox brain h, define gearbox brain h, and if we end that there. Let's think. Startup loop private profile. So this will be a reference to our current profile being used, or actually. Where did I have my profile type defined? It's just an abstract profile. Why aren't you finding abstract nag profile? Yeah. So let's do this. Let's do abstract nag profile star profile list. Okay, clearly you're not scanning. There we oh. Identifier abstract nag profile is undefined. It's right here and you're including the necessary header file, so why can't you find it? That's interesting. And then we're going to also want an abstract nag nag profile current profile. So this would be what's in use now. There should be profiles.h. It is. Oh, thank you. Yes, profiles.h. Just curious why C++ this is all possible using Kotlin. If yes, will there be any performance differences? This is not at all possible in Kotlin because this is eventually going to run on a embedded hardware. I mean, yes, I love Kotlin, don't get me wrong, but Kotlin is not appropriate at all for this, and also because Kotlin never compiles into bare metal. I mean, it does with Kotlin native, but I've had bad performance issues with that in the past compared to just pure C++. Available profiles, so actually we're going to set here to none profiles. No problem. Happy to answer that. I'm going to quickly see something if there's a way that I can. So, if the agility. No, that's the wrong one. If define agility enable, define manual enable. So basically, I want these to all be compile flags that someone can just go ahead and enable or disable to basically enable or disable some of the profiles. Did you ever consider Rust for embedded? Yes, I did. In fact, I'm still debating as to whether I want to do some of the higher level stuff like these profiles in Rust, and then just keep C++ for the bare metal talking to the hardware side of things, because then you can create some very nice abstractions with FFI bindings. Define sports enable, define Fort enable, define to enable. Agility, manual, sports, comfort, winter. Great. And then cool, looking forward to that. Yeah, it's up in the air because once I get my Tinsy unit and once summer comes and I can actually start working on this like kind of full time almost, churning through it with along with some of the other cool projects I have planned for my car, Rust is going to be used a lot. I'm not giving too much away by saying this, but let's just say I'm thinking of changing the center console for my car, well the current head unit with my own custom one. And that will be running basically bare metal Linux with a Rust-based user interface using just OpenGL. That's my plan for summer. Comment to disable agility mode. Comment to disable manual mode. C++ guys on here. Do you guys know if there's a way that I can create a compile time calculation to essentially work out how many profiles I should have in my array down here? Because I need this to be like n profiles. But I don't want to. But I want to allocate the memory directly. And that will be based on this. So for instance, if agility is disabled, it will be one less profile in the array. Yes, just write. Yes, Alex, I know you could just write 5 there, but is there a way to like actually get it so that I can say, okay, if I uncomment this, then it's one less? Or is that too difficult? I'm just curious. Just do a bunch of if defs. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, fine. No, but then I need an if def for like every single combination, which is... Did not get my joke. No, I didn't get your joke. Where do you learn all these stuff? Just over time. I've just been kind of doing this along with my comp sci degree, just for fun. Okay, fine, I'll do it as a bloody number. Array of abstract classes not allowed. That's useful. Okay, fine, it looks like we're doing it as a list of individual profiles. Damn it to hell. If dev sports enabled. So you want profile. Winter. And these are all to do because I've only ever got the sports profile mode, so I suppose that should do. Okay, then let's also create a private function here which deals with the crap of dealing with the next profile. Oh, and we also need the fail profile as well eventually. Private void select next profile. So that shall set the pointer in here, which is currently being used to current profile. And then I'm going to also need a uint of profile ID is always going to be equal to 0. So I want to say so I'm trying to work out if there's a way that I can set all of these, detect if none of these are enabled, and then I just want to throw a compile error to basically say, hey, you can't do that because there's no valid profile within nag. Which would be quite funny. please enable at least one profile above. So now I need to work out multiple if devs. Fine, if find so if sports enabled, comfort. Why don't you like this? Oh, I've done that wrong. Oh, I have to do this all one line. I hate pre-compiling stuff. So if there's no sports enabled, and if there's no comfort enabled, if there's no winter enabled, and if there is no defined and not defined manual enable, if there's no agility enable. So this should now fail compiling as soon as it notices, hang on a minute, there's nothing enabled. That's my plan, because I can't guarantee my logic works. So default profile 0. What's in use now? I'm just trying to think how to do this. See, I still need to create a number to basically say how many profiles we currently have. Oh boy, this is fun. Would there ever be a Kotlin live stream in the future? Yes, I do plan once I get to my head unit current Android stuff and I want to add some cool features to that. I will do some live streaming with that. But currently just doing low level stuff. Yeah, cool, huh? Oh, this is so frustrating. Okay, I'm gonna hope to dear God that someone doesn't change this. Okay, doesn't change the order for that. And then this might work. If someone changes the order of those if devs, it's not going to work and I'm going to cry. So, select next profile will return the pointer to the next profile in the list. So this current profile equals to do so this. No, I still need. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to create an enum up here, which basically states what profile is. So, enum class profile, sport, winter, comfort, winter, agility, manual. Okay, and we also need virtual void type, and this should return a profile. Virtual profile get profile type, so we shall do that. By the way, guys, if you guys do coding, what's your favorite IDE to use? I'm curious. Because I use a mixture of C-Line and VS Code. What should we do if we have all the profiles defined and then just one more map, which is profiles enabled like coding or real TCM? See, that's what I'm thinking. IntelliJ, yeah, nice. See, I'm thinking eventually to use the SCN coding variables, but that's just too much effort. This might be a bit, because this gives you more, easier way of changing it. If you say, for instance, just wanted to add in like the agility profile to your car, you just have to uncomment something. C-Line, yep, C-Line's nice. Me being a student, I get it for free, so it's all well and good until October. Then I cry because I have to pay for it. So, Alex, do you really code in Sublime Text? I doubt that. I mean, not hating on Sublime Text, but it's not great. Is it? I did not know that. Yes, I agree. Kotlin, you need to basically use IntelliJ. Oh, you do use Sublime code. Well, good for you. Right, let's go back to this. Actually, it depends. If I code for Mac, I use Xcode. Yeah, Xcode's nice. I would say, Alex, try using VS Code for Arduino stuff, because I know you do that. Yeah, you can try to apply for it late. Oh, okay. I will do that. That's a really good shout out. Thanks. Okay, so problem is I need to find a way to wrap around the profile because it goes in an infinite loop. It's not like I can just select. Okay, you know what? I've made this too complicated. Let's just get rid of all this if-devs crap and just, have it so it wraps around. So we want to do this if switch this current profile switch this current profile get profile type Yeah, seriously, Alex, you should try VS Code. It's so powerful. Especially for C++ stuff. Case, profile sports. Case, profile. Comfort. Comfort. Winter. Case. Profile. Agility. You ask which language is most comforting to you? Rust, C++, Kotlin, C, Python, Java, and can you tell why? Personally, I like Rust, and that's partly because the compiler will help save you if you ever do something messy, memory management. You also get bare metal speed, which is something Kotlin doesn't let me have. Like, I noticed the head unit code is really bloated on the Kotlin side of things for Android, but the C++ backend for it is really quick. So if we're in sport, then this current profile will be equal to new file void gearbox startup. The switch block you wrote, IntelliJ might have a super quick autocomplete for that. Yes, I know, IntelliJ could do that. But VS, I mean, actually, the only reason I'm using VS Code for this is because I don't want it to create all the CMake junk in this directory. That's the only reason I'm not using C-line for this one bit of it. But you know, C-line for the rest of the code because you know that's the fun bit. So on startup, we should be in S mode. So this sports equals sports profile. There we go. And this current profile equals and sports. Then we also want to write set default can data about nag. Extern GS218, GS2118, extern GS 4118 GS 418, extern GS 338 GS 338. So GS218 dot why isn't it letting me set this? You know what you are. Oh, of course you were going to fail because you don't know what a can frame is. So, oh, that's stupid. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a separate new file called mycan.c. No, we won't do that. I've seen a video of yours where you're driving your car after installing overlap kit and the box was slipping. Do you figure out why? I'm about to put that in my transco in my nag. Ooh, very nice. Yes, I do know why that's happened, and I haven't fixed it yet for partly because I don't have, you know, COVID. I can't. Well, last time I tried it, I think what I got wrong is I know something. One of the 3 to 4 overlap sleeve, I know got caught on something as I was putting it in, and I didn't think anything of it at the time, but it then seemed that it would have trouble shifting into 4th gear ever since then, so I have a feeling it just might be a minor case of the overlap sleeve I got maybe not being correct, or, you know, being slightly deformed, and to fix that I would have to take the whole gearbox apart, which, as I learnt from doing it the first time, doing it on a gravel driveway without any padding under your back is extremely painful. And it took me about 3 days to do it last time. I actually had to wait 2 days because I was just in so much pain after the first day of being on my back for the entire time. So, in my local area, there are some friends of mine who are getting some scissor lifts and possibly renting out a place to do some mechanical work on their cars. So once they get that up and running, I'll do it then. I'll probably do a video of me doing it, to be fair. You know. Also, here's a really odd question for the chat. Do any of you guys watch Legit Streetcars on YouTube at all? Right, where have I put my definition of a can frame? Ah, yes, here. Canframe.h. Okay, so thing is, I do comp sci and all my friends do engineering, so I'm kind of just like this one special kid who kind of like doesn't do the same subject as the rest of my friends, but like, you know, but he still has an interest in cars, but for all the wrong reasons apparently. Like, I'm interested in the tech side of things. All of them are interested in, like, oh yes, look at me, I can mod my engine, crap like that. I mean, yeah, I want to mod my engine at some point, but it's not my primary purpose for having a car. My primary purpose for having a car is so that I can upgrade it technology-wise and be like, oh yes, so your 2020 brand new like Tesla car, yeah, can it do this thing that my 14-year-old Merc can do with like $100 worth of upgrade? That's the whole point of the stuff I'm doing. Anyway, I got sidetracked there for a sec. Oops. Great, yeah, thanks. Oh, there we go, look at that, it's also completing now. Set mech, I believe, is the correct function name. Set creep talk, no it's not. 418.set mech, there we go. Mech, and we're gonna say Adrian says, will all of this work translate to other car makes and models, or will it just work for Mercedes? Unfortunately, it's just for Mercedes. This is the problem with cars, is that every single component in cars is so different from OEM to OEM. It is really annoying, I know. So, gearbox startup, and that should be passed with an interface. Nag iFace. I agree, that is why one of the most amazing features I have in my car is helmet access if route permissions. Yes, Alex, you've shown me this, but yes, it is amazing. So set the nag type. What else do we need to set? Oh yeah, we need to set 338.set NAB. So this should always be OXFFFF in these cars. Always in auto. Which files and entries should I analyze? Alex, I think this isn't a question you should answer more than me. Set all. Oh, this is interesting. Do we have all-wheel drive? Ooh, I'm gonna say false. Set CV2. False. No, wait, what? One is variable transmission, so. What's this? Set apply brake when switching. Huh? Okay, I'm gonna set that to false and do analyze what this does. FMRAD, what's this? Set wheel torque factor 7FF at KS. What does KSG mean? FMRAD par. Set wheel torque parity. Oh, this is the annoying, stupid parity thing I haven't yet worked out how to do. Set FPC. Set drive program. So this current profile. Get current profile. Set front. What's this? What's set front do? Set front wheel drive or rear wheel drive. Well, for these, false. Always for 722.6. gs4118.set fsc. Alex, where can I get X monitor? Couldn't find it. Set speed step. This current profile. Get display gear. Gear SNV because we don't know. Set kick down force. Ooh, actually no, we want to check. Sets torque loss. Alex, you wouldn't happen to know what the definition of KSG means in the context of this, because I keep seeing it pop up, and I wonder if it's the torque converter. Set switching. Analyze what this does. Set T get. This is, I believe, transmission oil temperature. So be. I think KSG stands for Sequentronics. Really? Because I see this number move in my own transmission. I'll check it, don't remember now. If you could, that would be very nice, Alex. Okay, so that is the correct one. Also found KSG as comfort manual gearbox from Okay, so that's only applicable to manual. Then why does it change on my car, which is an auto? Okay, very strange. Mind you, it's a Mercedes. I'm never expecting anything to make sense. So these should all be... What did I call this? FPC driving program. Yes, so it is driving program, cool. Okay, so that should be some minor corrections done to that. So if we're in... Okay, let's just see if this compiles first of all. I need to check if that even compiles. No, there we go, check that out, we got errors. Gear, selector position, P. Oh boy, I've got a lot to change here. Gear selector position, drive, yeah that's drive. Gear selector position, neutral. Gear selector position, reverse. Gear selector position, passive. Drive. Driving program. SN. Oh, sorry, this is speed step. So FSC ::, SS passive. So FSC, so this is FSC reverse, FSC N, FSC D, FSC SS speed 1. As for A mode, which is say sort of D, just Google photos of query Mercedes Sequentronics. Look at the gear selector and you'll... Okay, I'll do that in just a sec. Three, 4, 5. Okay, now it should compile. Yay. As for A mode, okay, let's do that now. So let me Google, take that from chat, open up a new tab, start new instance, images, apply break. See, look, here we go. This thing's even telling us to apply break. And this is on the old cluster. You see what I mean by I think this is like just this, the NAG52 controller can't do it. What is Sequentronics anyway? I did not even know this was a thing. What on earth is this? Wait, is this basic? It looks like a CVT, but it's like not, because they have their own. But wait, you could put it in the C class as well? This is madness. Sequentronics display, let's put this in. You see there is an A. Yeah, I do. Interesting find. What on earth is Mercedes Sequentronics though? I want to Google this. What is this? The new Sequentronic automated transmission from Mercedes-Benz is moving from a conventional gearbox into a new era. Well, it clearly didn't move it into a new era because they stopped using it. Over medium to long-term Sequentronics will give drivers the easy to use and demand. Wait, so this is basically a dual clutch gearbox, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, let's go to YouTube and search up Mercedes Sequentronics. Transmission, no. See, there's hardly any data. Oh, here we go. Mercedes E270 CDI Avantgarde Sequentronic. Okay, I'm going to turn the volume down so that I don't get... Oh, damn it, this is just a preview video. Okay, I'm not going to spend too long on this. Vlad, if you found a video with Sequentronics being used, I want to see that. So I think KSG transfer screen. Yeah, that make. Okay, so in that case, but the thing is, I think the documentation is then incorrect. If it's changing in my car and my car is not a Sequentronics. One second, I'm just going to quickly do this so I can pull something up on my screen without. There we go. Right. Right, so now I want to see if I can begin pulling my simulation code into here. So, uncomment all this. It might use the same CAN IDs. Yes, I know, but what I'm saying, Vlad, is that the data for KSG changes in my car. When that byte should only be... I know they use the same CAN ID because the manual transmission uses the same data, just various bits of it are like always 0. Okay, so this can all disappear because this is not needed anymore in here. Why isn't it liking the definition of gearbox brain? Oh, it's just called gearbox, that's why. BTS status non-project file. So according to Google, it's just a 6-speed manual transmission, but it's automated by some servo robot. Yeah, I know. It's so that's so strange. I mean, clearly their thing about saying that it's going to take you into a new era is completely incorrect because they never used it. Also, one sec. I'm gonna on comment out all of this code here that we wrote for the gear shift simulations, because that is no longer needed. We can go back to basics now. Hey Hash, how you doing? We're currently just trying to write, so this is basically more low-level firmware for my eventual gearbox, which should be being made in the summer, and we're basically just rewriting the entire simulator to accommodate for it. We're just gonna leave all this here, because this is... Oh wait, that's virtual... no, virtual nag we leave the same, because that doesn't need to change. Get gear ratio... Bye bye, you're not needed anymore. Force engine RPM. We're gonna just on comment and comment. Pull down shift, that's gonna be handled by logic interface, and so is up shift, we don't need those anymore in here. Handle button press. We're just going to comment this out because I might need that later on. Simulate tick. So setup, we'll say this is equal to new gearbox. This sim. Oh yeah, then we also need to call startup with that. This sim startup with this iFace. This iFace is equal to new virtual nag interface. Oh, hell yeah! Wait, one sec, I just want to check something, because if this is correct... One sec. I'm just going to update, check some email I've got. Okay, don't worry, something else. Verbal, virtual nag, nag52.8. Virtual nag, yeah, it is virtual nag interface. Okay, we don't need new, that's what it was. When we initialize that, so sim should start up, so the firmware should now handle the rest of the gearbox. That's the plan. This sim loop. That's all we're gonna do. Now this is gonna complain like hell, isn't it? Oh! Yeah, there we go. Look at all these lovely compiler errors. Undefined reference to gearbox startup, undefined reference to gearbox loop, undefined reference to vtable for sports pro. Oh Christ. I believe though this might be because we've actually declared extern. Okay, I think if we just have to do this if dev firmware mode. I believe this would be our way of fixing it. And doing the same for the C++ file. And then that should remove all these conflicting declarations of the can frames we made. No, that's useful. Undefined reference to gearbox startup, nag iFace star. Undefined reference to gearbox loop. So why isn't it finding any of... Class sports profile. Public. Okay, how do I say I want to add this to project target? So, It'd be somewhere in here, but nope, not this CMake list.txt, this one. SDR common. Let me quickly Google how to do this. Add directory to project, managing, how do I add existing C++ source files to project? Oh, is it just add subdirectory? Is that it? Oh, there we go. Cannot be given binary directory structure, but given source directory is not a subdirectory of... It must be explicitly specified. Oh, well, this is annoying. How to add subtree. Okay, I'm just going to Google this, one sec. Yeah, I want to add this out of tree CMake. Binaries to create this will be placed in subprojects. Keep a clean source direct. Oh, this is frustrating me. Just going to change that back to include directory so we don't break something. Okay, that's a good point. Control Alt Shift S, I think I want to say is for project settings. Nope. Control Alt S, nope, that's... If I right click this and go to properties, where is that? There is no property tabs. Okay. I have no way of modifying this. Great. Okay, so that'll be a good way of doing it. Add subdirectory, and we call in CMake current source dir. Add subdirectory, not given binary directory, but given source directory. Couldn't find any videos. Tried looking up some owner manuals. Yeah, I might do. I'm getting frustrated by this. C-Line just doesn't want to cooperate. Or more like C-Make doesn't. So if I go back to, where did I have this? Profiles.h. And is there a help thing that I can't even ask for help? One second, I'm just gonna close all this. So somewhere we have warning reallocation against in read-only mode, texting sport profile. So something is going on in my sports profile which it's not happy about. Oh, let's just fix these two functions here. Return FSC SS blank and return profile sport. That might fix some things. Nope, that didn't help. Okay, fine. So, I'm thinking maybe it's because these are sport profile in read-only section. It's something to do with its constructor, I believe, based on what I'm seeing. It might be the constructor which is balked. Oh no, wait, this isn't even working. What's going on? So I'm just going to put the top here saying define firmware mode. And now, is there any difference? Yep, of course. Okay, I'm going to put at the top of nag52.h undef. Undef firmware mode. Stop. So if sim test is not defined, which will happen first if we go from here. So if we just do define sim mode. Yes, there we go. That's better now. Undefined reference to this, undefined reference to vtable for sports profile. I think I've messed up something in my abstraction code here. So profiles.h, have I 1, 2, 3, okay, these are all virtual functions, correct. These are not virtual functions, and there should be 4 of them, yep. Yep. See, get profile. Then going here, there should be 4, yes. Interesting. Okay, so let me quickly sports.cpp, we go sports profile, sports profile. I'm still confused as to why this isn't compiling, and it's frustrating me now. Maybe I'm too tired. It's probably going to be a simple issue somewhere. Undefined reference to... So it seems to be that it can't find anything to do with the gearbox class. However, something has been fixed because it's now no longer complaining about a vtable error. So it's just undefined reference to gearbox. Oh, maybe it's because I haven't declared those functions. No, I have. They're right here. Oh, could this be because it's not using the CPP files? So I need to add these to the project files, essentially. So here we're going to add in firmware, NAG firmware, CPP files. Common gearbox brain.cpp is part of the project. Ooh, that might have done something. / common sports.cpp. Ha! Funny. Yep, it's not been declared. Oh my god, Vlad, this is hilarious. So, I do talk to Alex sometimes, and yeah, I got stumped on something which was stupid, basically. Can frame has not been declared yet. Could this be because I have to put these right at the very end? So I need to put my simulator files first so it knows what those are. So where's canframe.h? Here we go. We're gonna yeet you up here at the top because you're a dependency of everyone. Oh, still, canframe has not been declared. Very useful. Yeah, I know, Alex. I'm sorry, okay? Your name flew right past my head. I genuinely had no idea it was you when I was reading. Yeah, I know, Alex, okay? Error request for member IDF with non-term class and canframe has not been declared. Canframe has been declared. This stupid thing. Actually, we can just delete you because you're no longer needed. Canframe is not. Why? Okay, it may be because I have to go to the very start of this. And put here define sim mode. Okay, why are you complaining that you can't find this when I have clearly defined it? Maybe this is because I just have to directly import you. Include. Oh, Vlad, you can actually do that. I haven't worked out how to enable TPMS monitoring on the cluster because it requires you to actually unlock it. So it thinks it's in firmware mode. Okay. That solved a lot of my confusion. You two look like you're having fun there, by the way. Just saying. So why do you think you're in firmware mode? Not that that's made any difference, but there we go. So, where's nag? There you go, nag52.h. Then we'll include common gearbox brain.cpp. Let's have a look at this. ECUs. I doubt this is going to work, but we can try changing this to CPP. Nice. Okay, we got further now. So we have ECUs BS, ABS, ECS, P, CPP. Oh, of course, because oh, no, I am importing that before. Hmm. Vlad, you'll need just basically a CAD shield. However, be careful because you need one with a 16 MHz crystal oscillator. 8 MHz ones do not work with CAN B because of its very strange bus speed of 83.3 kilobits per second. That's a bug I found. Yeah, those compile errors in C++, exactly the time you should start learning Rust. I know, I need to. Oh, it does work, Alex? No, as in like, okay, I say that the Arduino libraries I use don't work with the standard 83.3 kilobit bus with an 8 MHz clock. 60 MHz ones work fine. Just dragging this to my other screen. Let's try this. File, glob. Let's see if declaring them like this might do something. Nope, that's done nothing. Great. Yeah, I know, Alex, but this is really pissing me off. I might just call it a night in about 5 minutes, to be fair, and then I'll work on this over the weekend to try fixing these compiler errors. Because it's... I know what it's down to, but it's just trying to fix it is really annoying me. Sorry. Basically, it's just I've got all my C++ source files in this different directory, and CMake is not happy with... It will basically include the header files, and then not include the CPP files with it. So all the implementations get lost, and you end up with just all these undefined references. It's annoying me, but, you know, I'll probably fix this weekend, to be fair. I mean, like, I could keep doing this, but I have no way of testing it. That's the problem. Like, I could keep writing this portion of code, and I have no way of knowing if this is working or not. That's all. But I could park this for the rest of the stream. And I'm thinking, what else could I talk about? Oh yeah, I know. Where is it? This. Hardware. Okay. Okay, so if I open folder, code, UltimateNag52, firmware. Okay. Now I believe I had this set to using the ESP32 I had plugged into my car. Oh, plugged into here. And I'm hoping what I can do is I can do define firmware mode up here so we know this is correct. Do nothing here. See, Alex, you're clever. Thank you. Set can pins. Yep. Can 0 enabled. Yep. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so if I do include /common /gearboxbrain.h, and I put up here gearbox vnag. Let's see if this even compiles. I'd be curious to see if this compiles. Nope, you didn't like that. Oh boy. I'm probably gonna have to pack it in for the night, to be fair, because it's like failing on both fronts now. I can't get hardware to work and can't get software to work either. I'll need to work out what's going on here. Typing might be the best option. Test about the PCB design. Oh yes, yes, you guys know about. Yeah, of course you know about that. I'll fire up using EDA then. One sec, I'm just putting to my other screen. So I have ordered. Whoop, let's go EGS52. No, it's this one. So this is where's the PCB view? Come on, here's the PCB view. So this is the PCB I've been designing today. I will have to give Alex some credit for helping me at certain points. I was a bit confused at certain bits for voltage dividers and regulators as well, but this is hopefully going to be the PCB. So it's meant to be an exact replacement of this, so you can see the pin out on the top looks identical to the pin out on the top of the PCB up here. And the idea of that is you take your old EGS module, you can take this little, you can desolder this bit and put it onto the new PCB and then plug it into your car essentially, as is. That is the idea of this. And of course I'll show you what a 3D view of this looks like. 3D. Oh, didn't want to go if I can. So this is the PCB view. I've ordered some dummy PCBs which currently just have all the tracks, none other components on them, because I want to ensure that the PCB can drive the insane amount of current these solenoids are going to be drawing. So like for instance, if I have all 6 solenoids activated, this one connection here at the top will be drawing 12 amps through it. Admittedly, I've got it on both sides of the PCB, this particular connection, so it's going to be quite a beefy one. And then each individual solenoid then has a separate connection going back down to ground for us to pulse. Also, look how simple the PCB. I'll put this one here so you guys can see the stock one. So yeah, I'll just zoom in on this, I think. There you go. So this is the old one, and we're looking at the new one. Also, one thing to note is I have a buzzer here. The buzzer is going to be basically used as a way of, you know how like your computer would do a post beep if something is wrong, where it just kind of like emit a couple of sounds, a couple of pulses of noise to say, hang on, something is wrong, and you have to like calculate. Yeah, thanks, Vlad. And you have to look it up at a table to say like, okay, 2 long beeps, 1 short beep means this. Well, I'm doing that with this. So for instance, if on startup it detects that something is wrong with the transmission, you'll get a beep code as well, and it will let you narrow it down quite heavily as to what's wrong, because I'm talking about something like some of the sensors going bad as well. Obviously the idea of UltimateNag52 is that it's a drop-in replacement, so it should work with Zentry. Sorry, DAS. That's what I'm hoping, is I can get the gearbox key diagnostic code into a point whereby it will work with Zentry DAS perfectly, and that'll be really cool. But anyway, that's, yeah, so this is just a nice view of our PCB. In total, I had a look on EasyEDA, and apparently the assembly cost, it's not too much. Actually, let's see if I can do that now. I want to print this. Let's quickly have a look to see how this would cost. So, PCB fabrication, yes, check. This takes forever and I don't know why. Well, clearly EasyEDA. Oh, there we go. Okay, so $12 US currently. If I say order at JLC PCB, this should then let me do the SMT assembly, which then I can check how much that's costing. Should be around $10-15 for 5. Yes, but I'm also talking about mounting all the components. So, i.e., the only thing the user would have to buy for this is the TIN C4, which, you know, you could buy on Amazon, so it's not even that difficult to find. If it does $2 for 5 pieces for me. Yeah, Alex, what size are your PCBs though? Are they huge like this one, or are they tiny? That's what I want to know. Okay, so here's our PCB. By the way, you guys should choose, for the final design, what color should we go for? Black, white, blue, yellow, red, or green? Oh, and also, here we go. So SMT assembly, let's do that. Assemble top side. Ah, yes, Alex, this is a huge PCB in 10x10. This is 120 by 70. It's a fair bit more area. Also, don't check your dimensions, it's slightly bigger than 10 centimeters, you can chop it a bit. No, but Alex, the thing is I don't want to chop it because I want this to be an exact drop-in to this PCB so it fits perfectly in the housing and everything. That's why. Does it make sense to put a ground polygon on the bottom? I'm not sure. What do you mean by ground polygon? Like, remind me. Also, what does this mean, SMT quantity? When you order 5-piece PCB, you can choose to have 2 PCBs assembled by JLPCB and sold the remaining piece. Oh, that's clever. On top and bottom. Yeah, I don't have that. Oh yeah, good point actually. I could do that. Also, the thing is, right, how do I view which components are going to be... Or you could order it as a stencil. Oh, that's really cool. So this means that I could... Alex, is this the option you do when you order it? So say if you want it to be... for you to be able to solder. Because the thing is, I worry I won't be able to solder something like this. But yeah, there you go, it's $20. I worry I won't be able to solder this because the components are so close together in this. Like, you can tell I'm pretty packed on space on this. Also, regarding grounding thing, the huge volt... By the way, I noticed this on the stock NAG controller as well. The whole top of the PCB up here is actually 12 volts, not ground, and the bottom is ground, but where all the sensitive bits are, but the top is all 12 volts, which is a bit strange. Because I'm really low on space here when it comes to trying to get this wire here as thick as it can. Actually, let's see if we can do that. So in theory, I could do grounding all the way down this side here. Oh, don't do that. All the way down the bottom as well. The bottom could all be ground, and so could this side, but just leave the top, because this is in the way. And this is on both layers, by the way, I should mention. Right, there is a tool to do it. Where is the tool, Alex? Oh, it's under IC. Okay, right, one sec. I'm just gonna go full desktop mode. There we go. Dimensions. Is it a solid region? So I need to draw out a solid region and then just make it go to ground? Is that what I need to do? Let me open this up as well. So canvas, track. Yes, try that. Okay, so let's go for that. So, solid region. Let's start at this end here. No, I don't want to start oh my god, no, I don't want to start drawing there. See a message for today. Yes, it's a few seconds. It's YouTube being funny. So, where did that go? Where did solid region go? Solid region. Start at this corner. Oh, come on, this is stupid. Every single time I use my middle click to drag the PCB design down, it decides it's going to go ahead and draw a polygon there. Start outside the PCB and just put 4 corners. I'm confused by what you mean by that. Use copper wire. Oh, okay, right, we can try that. Pad. Oh, line, thank you. Just draw another oh yeah, that's a good point actually. Draw another rectangle bigger than your PCB. No, I said draw it. Why won't... No, but... You're saying like this. Now how do I drain everything on the inside? Because this is looking a bit tragic right now. Am I doing random things? I think there's a feature called you were right at the beginning. Oh. I believe there was a thing called a ground pour. Copper area, fourth tool from the... There we go. Net ground, okay. So how do I... Oh, okay, I have to draw the whole thing. Yes. I'm just gonna go and circle... Oh my god, stop doing this to me, Easy ADA. I'm just gonna... Yes. 1... 2... 3... 4... Okay. Now what's it done? It's done something... What have you done, EasyDA? Okay. Cancel that and we're just gonna... Oh, it's permanently done this now. I can't undo it. What on earth? Alex, what have you done? You told me to do something and now it's no longer... I can't undo this. Oh boy. Oh no, wait, it's still trying to apply it, that's probably why. I'm being impatient. Well, I think it's done it. And I'm just going to say save now. So if I go to 3D view now, will I see any difference? Okay, PCB still looks the same, that's all good. And then can I do the same on the bottom? Yeah, that's what I was going to do. So that we know how this works. So net to ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let it go ahead and process that. There we go. Yes, it does look the same. So if I go to copper here. Alright, thanks for that though, Alex. I must admit though, this does look very nice. Wait, does that mean all these connections to ground I can actually get rid of? Oh, it's already done that, has it? Oh, I think it has. I think maybe that's why it took so long, is because it was trying to get rid of all the... What the hell is happening? What do you mean? I'm just zooming in on things. So I was just saying, I think all my ground connections have now been turned into this copper pad, which is really nice. Should not look the same in PCB preview. I think you messed it up somehow. Maybe it's because I have to go ahead and tell it to draw 3D, so view 3D view. It's just taking a while. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it looks the same. Okay, the back looks different though. The back looks very different. So you can see on the back there's this huge wad of copper. But the front still looks the same. Or does it? Yeah, it's the same. Definitely the same. Great. Let's try to do the copper area again on the top layer and just see what happens. I think Easy EDA is just being funny. Yeah. Net to ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. Escape. It's still red, meaning I think it's still trying to calculate it and not trying to draw it. Okay, I'll say that's done, and we'll try it again. Oh, there we go, Alex. Look, it's done it. Check that. So we can see all of this is now going to ground. And there's these nice little gaps in between my wires. So I think that fixed it. Just had to redraw it. Now, one thing I'm not happy with is the fact that all of these pins here on NAG are going to ground, apparently. I want them to be independently isolated. Well, no, actually I don't need to because there's physically no wires running out of it. Okay, it's fine. It's fine as it is. Nice. I usually select direct connections to pads. Oh, right. This looks so cool though. I'm impressed with this. So yeah, once I get the dummy boards, I'm thinking, shall I do 3 batches? So this one here, so I've currently got my dummy boards with no components. Then I'm going to have round 2, which will be components mounted, but not actually, you know, for the gearbox. And third time would be like everything's working. They should not be connected if they don't connect to ground on the schematic. Well, okay, that's a good point. Okay, I don't know if maybe just Easy ADA is making it look like they're connected, but I don't think, like, on here. Yeah, they're not connected, that's good. What are these 2 things here for? What are you? Oh, yeah, ground, okay. Wait, that also means... Oh, wait, I know where this is coming from, I think. Well, if I quickly go to my 3D view and flip it round. Oh, that wire's not even there. That's really confusing. Oh no, Alex, this is where it's pushing the grounds together, I think is what it's doing here. So these are the 2 nets whereby ground will be connected from one end to the other. I think that's what that is. Anyway, I'm getting tired, so I'm probably going to wrap the stream up now. yeah, thank you all for watching. Wait, try to add all more wires to improve ground connection on both sides. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that in my free time. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. So I shall see you hopefully next week, roughly the same time. Can't guarantee the same time, but I'll let you all know in advance, like a couple of days before. Alright, see you all. Bye.